Nissan finally has a new Frontier pickup headed towards dealerships. I can't give you pricing and driving impressions quite yet, but project lead designer Hiren Patel has offered up a design overview. I'm just going to get out of the way and let him tell you what the team did.
This is the new Frontier, and from the side of the vehicle, we really wanted to lift the impression of the truck and also lengthen the impression of the truck. And so some things that we did to kind of visually trick your eye a little bit, since the truck overall is not much bigger than today's vehicle, we connected the cabin from the front to the rear, so now it's got a blacked out B-pillar, and so that visually kind of lengthens the cabin. We also tried to lift the impression of the truck quite a bit. So there's a light transition which happens here on the body side of the vehicle. We call this the shoulder of the vehicle. And so this has been pumped out quite a bit. So as you see that light travel, it creates shadow on the lower portion of the body side. And that again kind of visually lifts up the truck and then lengthens it out some more. Another thing that we tried to do is really kind of make it feel more muscular. So as you're looking down the vehicle, maybe from front view or from rear view, you'll notice that these fenders actually blister and kind of pop out and form these upper shoulders. So those are really kind of intentional to look kind of like almost like box flares on kind of a monocoque body. We also lifted the impression of the front of the vehicle, so the badge is quite a bit higher, but that's also been very well and carefully placed to be in exact line to the center of the headlamps, and that then lines up through the body side and through the rear of the vehicle. A lot of other care was paid attention to. There's a lot of elements on the front end, the grille, the headlamps, the lower fascia. Even though these are all separate elements, we tried to use areas where we can tie those together so that they don't just feel like they're floating in space, but each part of the truck has a specific place where it can only be in that location. So parts kind of clamp together and lock together in interesting and modern ways. You can kind of see some of that in the way that this front fender comes around, kind of clamps onto this headlamp, and those then have a place where the upper and lower DRL signatures also kind of lock into each other. So you'll see that kind of a theme of parts which can only fit together in a certain manner all throughout the truck. You'll see that on the tail light, on the tailgate finisher, kind of everywhere. So we're at the rear of the truck, and you can see some of that interlocking design theme even in the tail lamps of the truck. Usually I think like truck tail lamps, they're kind of just stuck on the corner, but here you can see these upper and lower tail and stop lamps. They come and they kind of clamp onto the body on the side. It's the same kind of motif you'll see on the front end, and the way these light up is really kind of interesting. These taillights are full LED lamps. However, we worked really hard to make sure that these elements, upper and lower ones, they light up like these solid milled blocks of light. And that was really intended to show high tech, but do it in a really appropriate manner for a truck. Everywhere we kind of had a lot of fun designing this truck. This is one of the first times we've actually stamped lettering. So the actual Frontier font is new for this generation. So we designed that in mind that it's going to be stamped, it's going to be printed. It's on the front end of the truck also. And so that was kind of an interesting process to go through. And you'll see again that interlocking design element even in the tailgate handle here. We've integrated the camera nicely, and the handle actually has a purposeful shape. You'll see that kind of design shape echoed in the grille. For a truck, actually, everything is important, and so we paid even great attention to the patterning of the step pad that you see here. There's different grains and there's different depths here. Those are all intended to be, very purposeful, but also very functional and aesthetically pleasing. The same thing with the pattern that you'll find on the top of the tailgate here. This was all designed in-house. We really carefully thought about like how water will drain from it. How do we provide the maximum space for people to attach their items to and give a lot of grip. We even put cup holders in places where it was free to put. So we try to think about all these areas. It's quite different designing a truck from a different product. We use the same kind of design philosophy for the exterior as the interior. We really wanted to elevate the overall impression of the interior of this truck. One of the things you'll notice, the cabin size is not much different than today's truck, but the overall impression is quite a bit different. The first thing you'll notice is the instrument panel. There's like a very clear logic to the way everything is laid out in this interior. The vents have been lifted up and pulled all the way out to the ends of the instrument panel here, and that was intended to give maximum space for all of the new tech, but also to line everything up in a really kind of easy to understand and really easy to organize information way. The tech that's in this interior, the large screen, the large 9-inch screen, all that stuff, the treatment of it is really done in a kind of an embedded tech way. So it's got a large screen, but you won't see like any kind of delicate tablet displays or anything like that. It's been interlocked in this kind of frame that really provides this feeling of like visually protecting all of the tech in kind of a manner that's appropriate for a truck. You'll also notice storage kind of everywhere. So there's storage up above the instrument panel here. There's storage down below. I don't know about you guys, but like I take all my stuff out when I get inside of a car. So like I throw my wallet in places. So here there's storage. There's cup holders, and those have also been designed in such a way that you can put a tablet in that sideways if you choose to. There's space for the largest phone, I think the largest iPhone with a really big case on it. And here, this one's equipped with a wireless charger. Really logical place to put that. And then tons and tons of storage in the center console. Also, the door pockets have a lot of storage too. This one is a high-grade leather interior, and interesting thing for the color and design and materials in the studio, we were talking about like how do you make a black interior really interesting without just making it everything black, all the same. So here the designers have been working on making that feel more interesting by the use of sheen, color, and texture. You'll notice there's a quilted pattern on the seat back here, and then the bolsters have this kind of carbon fiber weave pattern in them. So it adds a little bit of sophistication to this leather interior. And then throughout, there's different treatments in gloss levels. So you'll see these accent finishers here, which are silver or lava red, depending on the grade that you get. Here they're gloss black. So it's more, it's an all black interior, but it's kind of a sophisticated approach to it.
There you go. I will have a full review from Utah the moment the embargo lifts, but being a design guy, I wanted to share this with you. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.